Welcome to the What Matters Marketing Show, hosted by Kim Skilton. This is your place to be inspired, to learn, and to build the business of your dreams with actionable marketing tools, tips, and resources. Kim Skilton is an award-winning marketer who has worked with some of the world's biggest brands. With more than 20 years of industry experience, Kim knows firsthand what it takes to build a business from the ground up. If you love to learn and are ready to take action, you're in the right place. Click follow so you don't miss an episode. Now let's get into the show.
Welcome to episode 2 of the What Matters Marketing podcast. I'm really excited to talk with you today about the good old humble email. Now, why we're talking about this today is literally right now this month, the two world's biggest email service providers or ESPs, Gmail and Yahoo, who between them have just under 40% market share, are implementing new email deliverability rules. Now, admittedly, these new rules or guidelines are for essentially enterprise businesses, so those large businesses sending 5,000 or more emails per day. But wait a minute, before you tune out because you don't think this matters to your business, I just want to give you 3 great reasons why it is important to care about your email deliverability. And that reason number 1, email marketing does remain one of the cheapest and most effective marketing tools that you can use in your business. Reason number 2 is it has been proven to provide an ROI of $36 for every dollar spent. Yep, that's a 36x return. And my third reason why I want you to care about your email deliverability is email marketing, it puts you in control. It gives you the control to send communication when you want to send it as a business owner, who you want to send it to. So within your list, who do you want to send it to? And what offer do you want to give to your subscribers? Being in control of when and how you can communicate to your database with what offer is fabulous. If you need a little bump in your business, or you need to get communication out quickly, maybe there's a legislative change or there's a operational change that's happening in your business, by having that list and having that control, you're able to get out to those people immediately what you need to communicate. Now, I also really love the idea that when you build this email list, not only is it obviously a money-making machine for your business, if you are looking to sell your business in the future, it itself will add value to your business. If you've got, imagine buying a business, I'm buying a local hair salon, or I'm buying the local accounting firm, and I'm assessing maybe 2 competing options, and there's, similar price, but there's one that has a database of 5,000 contacts versus one that has one of, say, 500 contacts. I mean, obviously you need to do a little bit more analysis of the effectiveness of that database, but you are going to get value back to your business if you have a decent database that is proven benefit and it's quality back to your business. So it's not just an asset while you're operating your business. If you choose to sell your business, it also is going to add value. And the other thing that I think is very important, which a lot of business owners forget about, is when someone subscribes to your email, or they opt in to be on your list, they have given you permission to land directly in their inbox. That's like saying, come over and have a cup of tea. And I think a lot of business owners forget that you have been granted permission. So don't take it lightly. And then the job is on you as the business owner or the marketer responsible for email communication, is to ensure that those emails are filled with the right content, the right offers that are going to engage and drive value back to customers and potential customers. So there are 2 sort of bonus benefits I see of having these email databases, and why email marketing is still critical to your business. So in short, I just want to say, love that list, nurture it and know that it's worth value to you. And if you don't think it's worth value to you, I'd reflect upon that and say, why? Are you attracting the right people into the list? Is it the content within your emails that is making it not valuable? Are you not sending the right content? Are you infrequent? So have a a reflection on what you do with that list and try and ascertain why it might not be working that hard for you. Anyway, back to the new email deliverability rules by the two powerhouses, Gmail and Yahoo. What they will be focusing on are three key areas. One is authenticating your emails. Now, the good news is if you're using an email service provider such as someone like MailChimp, Constant Contact, Flowdesk, ActiveCampaign, any one of those guys, they are pretty much doing this for you anyway. It's within their program. In saying that, if you do want to know any more about that, you can go to their respective websites, and there's quite a bit of content around authenticating your emails, and it's the technical process is written out there for you to learn more about it. But if you have been using a particular ESP for some time, you should be absolutely fine. And then the second thing that these two big email providers will be looking at is that you must have an unsubscribe function, and that must be easy for people to unsubscribe, and that you then do stop emailing them. Now, here in Australia, where I'm based, that's been, the rules, if you like, for, I can't even remember, I'm going to say 15 years maybe, could be longer. We have what's called the Spam Act here in Australia. We have to, on every single email communication we send out, is have an unsubscribe button. And you have a certain period of time to take them off your database, and then you have to ensure that you then do not communicate with that person any longer. So that's number two. And then the third rule I guess they're looking at is the spam compliant rate. So again, keep in mind, this is enterprise level. We're talking a lot of emails sent in a day, but it's really good that you be aware of this, and I'm going to dive into that a little bit more soon. But what they're saying here is historically, a tolerated spam complaint rate was around 0.1%, meaning that one complaint for every 1,000 emails was deemed appropriate. However, starting now, February 2024, Google and Yahoo have announced that they'll raise this threshold to 0.3, so 0.3%. So that's a little bit more leeway, if you like. So I guess for you as a business owner, probably not sending 5,000 emails per day, I wanted to just give you, I guess, my top 3 recommendations. And that is, number 1, avoid sending emails to individuals without their consent, or, if you haven't acquired a list. And probably stating the obvious there, but just be very mindful of that you only send emails to individuals that have opted in or given you permission. Number 2 is incorporate a clear and accessible unsubscribe link in every email that you send. Now, these for us typically are seen at the base of an email. So I always check my clients when I first take them on board, make sure that they're adhering to it's compliant, as I mentioned earlier, for us in Australia to do this anyway. So make sure you have that. And number 3 is promptly remove subscribers who have decided to opt out of your database. Now, and of course, you need to refrain from contacting them again unless they do choose to opt back in again. And, like I've said, in Australia, it's the law. You are unable to contact them again unless they choose to opt back in again. Now, this is a requirement. So look, just do what you need to do. So that are the 3, I guess, key areas that are of change that are happening with the big companies, Gmail and Yahoo. But really what I wanted to talk to you today about is what can you do in your business every day, every week, every month, every year to make sure you are delivering best practice for email deliverability. And I want to give you 8 best practice tips. I'm going to bang them out rapid fire, so bear with me, but take note of these and just do a quick chat, do a quick audit, and make sure that you're adhering to these. So number 1 is maintain a clean email list. So yes, as much as we, it's like a little knife twisting in our heart every time we see someone unsubscribe from our list, it's okay. Let them go. It is what it is. You might look at it like this. You might have attracted the wrong kind of potential customer. You might not be relevant to them any longer, depending what your service offering is. Maybe they're not ready or they've gone beyond, who knows? Or maybe it is on you, maybe your content hasn't been the best. So have a think about why you might be losing people off your database, but it's important that you do keep a clean email list. Keep an eye on what that unsubscribe percentage is. Now, also, I would recommend that you use that double opt-in option. Now, that became paramount, particularly in Europe a couple of years ago now, or probably more than a couple of years ago, but it is the best practice. So when someone subscribes, they'll get an email, and then within that email, it's another link that they click on, and that's considered a double opt-in. Now, this is available as an option within any of those email service provider platforms, meaning, your MailChimps of the world, they have that as an option for you. So it will weed out fake subscribers, because who wants those? That's just a fake metric. If you've got robots signing up to your emails, they're never going to turn into any potential revenue or an actual customer. So that's fine. Get rid of it. We don't want fake subscribers. And at minimum, you're applying to the best practice. Okay, 3 is personalize your emails. And again, that's quite easy these days with the likes of tools like MailChimp. You can put it in your subject line, you can put it in your opening, you can actually even put it throughout the content within your email. And by personalization in this sense, I'm literally just meaning adding their name, but there are a lot of other ways you can go a lot deeper. So it might be tailoring your message to the interests and preferences of almost like sub-segments within your database. So that's getting a little bit more complicated, but there is that opportunity to personalize through that as well. Which leads me on to number 4, and that is segmenting your email list. So when you get to this level of sophistication, you obviously need to have gathered that information to then be able to segment them, and you also need to track behavior. So what in past emails have they been clicking on? What kind of topics, offers, etc. are they clicking on that then you're able to track and then send them more specific content? So think about it. I see it quite often, obviously, on the streaming channels. So when you watch a few shows and then it starts to suggest to you, this could be Stan, Netflix, any of them, they suggest to you what you're likely to enjoy based on your past consumption of content. And this is what we're talking about when we segment a database as well. It's being able to go that next level of personalization. And by doing that, if you collect the data, then you can start to segment as well. And just to let you know, I do plan to do a future episode where we'll go into a lot more detail around how you can onboard someone as a subscriber, then start to collect more information about them, enabling you to build this out over time. Giving you the option to segment and get quite specific around how you want to do that segmentation. And side note, if you listened to last week's episode around the top 5 marketing opportunities for business, you would have heard me talk about cookieless future and the need to ensure we are collecting first-party data. So if you haven't listened to that as yet, go back and have a listen, and you'll get an understanding of what it means for businesses as, this cookie begins to crumble, as they say, because not only will we need it for our first party data, but to know that you're collecting it then to be able to segment for your email, it's a winning marketing strategy right there. All right, number 5 is to maintain consistency. And that word consistency could be just applied to business probably in every single department, function, but you want to maintain consistency in your overall marketing and also in your email marketing. So just make sure that you think about sticking to a consistent sending schedule. This is really good to establish that familiarity with your audience. There is feedback and a little bit of research to say that erratic sending patterns might trigger spam filters as well. So, we just got to be mindful of that. And I guess that's why I'm a huge fan of what I call the marketing action plan, the MAP. It's a template I've created, quite some time ago now, where we will map out all your activity. And I used to do 12 months at a time, but I tend to find a lot of business owners get a bit overwhelmed with that. So I've rolled it back to, we start with a 90-day activity plan. And not only does that include your email activities, that includes all your content, essentially, your campaign activity, if you're writing blogs, if you are doing a podcast, if you're doing a promotion, a special offer, if you're doing a collaboration, it's all captured within your map, your marketing action plan. And so then you've got this overall cohesive plan, and that ensures that not only will your email marketing be consistent, but everything within your marketing ecosystem will be consistent as well. All right, number 6 is to avoid those spam triggers. So, refrain from using spam triggering words or phrases in your subject lines and also in the body of the email. So to give you an example, I've got a few I've put down here to remind myself. So things like the word free aren't great, exclamation points aren't great, using all caps, no, having excessive punctuation could trigger a spam filter. Yeah, all lowercase. Yeah, so you just got to be mindful of what you're putting in your subject lines particularly, but then also consider what you're putting in your body copy. Is it, in inverted commas, spammy? So put that little filter over it and make sure you've done that check. All right, and then the next point I wanted to cover in terms of best practice email deliverability would be to monitor your engagement metrics. Look, numbers aren't always the best thing, but once you learn the importance of them in all facets of your business, it makes it really easy then to set up some dashboards and know which metrics matter the most. So you don't have to spend hours and hours combing through every single detail. You've just identified key metrics that will give you a red flag if something isn't doing well, but also a green flag when you're seeing some successes. So when it comes to email marketing, be sure to track things like your open rates, your click-through rates, and take note of the content that your subscribers are responding to the best. Now, not only will this help you make better overall marketing decisions, it's giving you insight into which levers do you need to pull. It's also going to ensure your marketing strategy is as refined and working as hard as possible for you. So just to remind you, check out those engagement metrics for your email. And then lastly, out of the 8 best practices for email marketing deliverability is to ensure your emails are mobile responsive, which today shouldn't be a problem because every time you use a marketing email service provider such as your MailChimps of the world, they naturally build them into that mobile responsive. So that shouldn't be a problem. But you do want to make sure that when you do build them out and you send yourself a test email, check it on your laptop, check it on your desktop, and check it on your mobile phone. Make sure it's displaying well, it's legible, and things aren't sitting over the top of each other which it will obviously screen size shrinks on a mobile. So just making sure that layout is still working for you across all the different screen types. And you should know through your Google Analytics and even through your email provider stats how many people are viewing your content on the various devices. And I think you'll find that a lot of times, depending on the industry, they can be as high as the 80-90% are getting viewed on mobile. So make sure it's optimized for viewing on mobile. So, okay, I've sped through those, but they are really, what I see as 8 critical best practices for email deliverability. And I'll just do a quick summary, obviously, in the show notes as well, or you might want to come back and re-listen to this particular episode to take those down. And just one final piece of advice before we finish up today, and that is to always be ready to adapt to potential changes. Technology continues to evolve. New technology is being introduced all the time. So when things like these email platforms update their policies or the algorithms or whatever it might be, we just want to make sure that we are attuned and we know, we're aware of them and we can make some assessment of whether it is going to impact our business, and if so, by how much, and what do we need to do to ensure we minimize the impact, or it could be a benefit. It could be how do we then leverage or optimize that opportunity. And when it becomes, talking more specifically to the email guidelines that have been released in regards to email deliverability, just keep in mind, why I've dedicated a whole episode to it today is email marketing is still a great tool for your business. As I said earlier, a 36x ROI it's potential there for your business. So you do want to make sure that you're using it right. You know how to measure it. You can be aware of when you're doing great stuff and when you're not doing such great stuff. So thank you for joining in for today's session. And next week, we'll be covering off the difference between business strategy and marketing strategy. Tune in. I really want to share with you how best they can work together so that they positively impact on being able to deliver a business that's sustainable and sees growth that you're looking for.
Thanks for listening to the What Matters Marketing Show. You can support the podcast by hitting follow or leaving a review. For more great marketing information to help build your business and a life that you love, head to whatmattersmarketing.com.